Hi, I'm Raghu Dixit and you're watching WinkBall.com.
So tell us, what have you been up to lately?
Lately, I've been just globe-trotting, trying to make people happy with my music. I'm based in Bangalore, but then I have musicians collaborating from different cities in India, and I'm making this masala music of cultures coming from all around the world, and I've been really happy performing abroad now, not just in the vast country that I am in.
So could you tell us a little bit about your musical upbringing? I mean, I read that it was quite difficult for you because your parents didn't allow you to listen to Western music. I mean, how was that?
Yeah, I grew up in a very conservative South Indian family, and anything Western, not just music. In fact, even wearing jeans was not allowed. I bought my first jeans after my dad passed away, and that's how I could finally wear jeans. But my upbringing has been mainly on Indian classical music, which was always playing at home because my mom used to listen to it on All India Radio. But then as I started going to college, I could meet up with kids who would swap tapes between themselves, and I got introduced to many hardcore heavy metal bands and hard rock bands like Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden and Metallica, and also the softer kinds like Wham and Phil Collins. And Sting, of course. Police was big then. So I grew up on all that music, and then there was this huge capsule that used to happen on the national television then of Grammy Awards, and I would just wait every year to watch that thing happen. And there was something called as Pop Time, which used to bring in a lot of music from the West. And I would steal my way into a neighbor's house to watch that particular program and come back home. So yeah, so I grew up with everything together. Somewhat slyly towards the Western music, but it never occurred to me that I could probably one day actually learn Western music and play Western music.
So those artists that you mentioned, would you say they would be your Western musical influences?
There is a lot of Western musical influences in my music. There's a very strong element of rock music, pop also to a certain extent. I don't understand jazz, and therefore I do not have jazz in my music. But yeah, the grooves especially are very much rock, pop, funk.
So what's been the highlights of your career so far?
I think the biggest thing that has happened to me so far is being featured on Jules Holland's show, which kind of spiked interest about our music, and it kind of pushed the album to #1 iTunes UK charts, and it still is. As of yesterday, we were still #1, so that was damn good. And there is a certain amount of interest from the rest of the industry, from Europe, from US, North America, even Australia. So I guess Jules Holland kind of pushed everything up to the next level for us, and as of now, I think that was the highlight of the thing. But this year, it's going to be better. We're playing at Glastonbury, we're playing at Latitude, so I guess exciting times ahead. And the second album is getting into production this summer.
Great. So you've got the your project, the Raghu Dixit project.
Yes.
What inspired you to do this?
Well, my own inability to kind of keep people together and form a band and manage the band and take it forward towards one single goal. I think that inability to manage a team kind of led me to believe that holding on to a few people for the rest of your life is just not going to happen, because everyone changes. Everyone changes their priorities, and so that's when I came up with this idea to dissolve my previous band and start kind of a project wherein I just collaborate with musicians whom I would like to play with, and for musicians who would like to play with me. So I guess that's why every touring group becomes a project, or an album becomes a project. So every collaboration is a new project for me, and that's why the name the Raghu Dixit project.
It's Indian as well as a mixture of rock and classical, and it's brilliant, and he is multilingual as well. It's absolutely fantastic music.
I love the mix of Indian culture with more Western form. It's really exciting and new and fresh, and that's why I'm here.
He is true to his South Indian roots. At the same time, he's a bit jazzy, he's a bit funky. He's a great amalgam of everything that works for modern India, I think.
Fantastic. Really fun, really upbeat, energetic.
Really, everyone's dancing in their chairs.
Yeah, really good night.
And he's just going to be the greatest success ever. It's written in the stars.
So obviously you mentioned about Later with Jules Holland.
Yeah.
And obviously there are things like WOMAD, Latitude, Glastonbury. Obviously, I don't know if you know about Damon Albarn and his kind of collaboration with world music. I mean, do you find Britain as a country more receptive of kind of world music as a whole?
So come again,
do you find Britain more receptive?
Absolutely. I mean, I think Britain has been more kind to me than anywhere else, even in India for that matter. In India, I had to like kind of dig into my road for 9 years to get here wherever I am in India. But whereas in the UK, it's been just a year since I've been knocking doors, and people have been very receptive to it. First the industry, and then of course wherever we've played, we've had some really happy responses after every gig. And we've sold CDs much faster in the UK than anywhere else. So I guess, yeah, Britain has definitely been extremely kind to our music as of now.
The online world, new media, things like Facebook, Twitter.
Yes.
I mean, how important do you think they are to the music industry?
Very important, considering where I come from. In India, there is absolutely no window whatsoever for music which is not Bollywood music and film music. So we don't have television which airs videos for musicians like me. We don't have radio shows which can feature music like mine. It's all film music all the time, and therefore it's very difficult for a band to actually get heard in India. And the only way now we see as a great potential is the online avenues that you can find, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, and somehow we've been quite savvy that way as a band. Gaurav, my bassist, is a internet maverick, and then he manages our website, writes the blogs, and manages the Twitter account and Facebook account, etc., etc. And he's always on it, and so am I. So I guess, and we also use social media to kind of keep one-on-one with our fans, and I think it's more important for us to have 3,000 or 4,000 hardcore fans whom we talk to each other one-on-one, rather than have 500,000 fans whom we don't know at all. I think 3,000 hardcore fans who will probably buy anything that you produce and keep it there for sale, and then spread messages about you and become evangelists for your music. I think that's what we're looking at, and I think that's where internet comes into play in a huge way.
Great. So what does the future hold now?
Oh, the world is at our feet and it's there for us to conquer. I guess the signs are there for us to believe that we've got a good thing going. And my management has been working day and night, very sleepless and selflessly. I think it'll all come into kind of culmination to seeing our dream come true about capturing the rest of the world, probably by the year end, I guess. But this summer is going to be extremely crucial for us to see how the festivals go, and also the album is received once it's out. But it's been quite an exciting journey so far, and I think it can only get better from here.
Cool. We just got a few fan questions.
Yes, sure.
What's the first album you ever bought?
The first album I ever bought? That's a difficult question to answer. I think it was But Seriously, Phil Collins.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. In fact, yes, it was. I completely loved Phil Collins singing Another Day in Paradise on Grammy Awards capsule. I remember as a kid going and actually saving money bit by bit and buying that tape. Yeah, so I think But Seriously was the first ever tape I bought. Thanks for reminding me that.
No problem. If you could cover one song, what would it be?
I've already done it. It's Fields of Gold by Sting.
Ah.
I've done an Indian folk version of it. Hopefully we should be able to release it very soon.
And if you could have a dream collaboration with an artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
It's still a sting for me. I completely adore and completely love his style of songwriting. I think he's a great poet and very simple in his music. Simple in the sense he might make intricate rhythm patterns or intricate chord combinations, but for a listener it just comes across so simple, and then you can actually remember the melody lines and the words, and I love the romance in his poetry, and I think he will be a perfect collaborator.